I see a lot of eyes looking at me like, what is Anthony Anderson, little brother, about to do up there? And you see it, right? But I'll tell you the truth, he's got that TV show Blackish, and I'm Brokish. That's why I'm doing this show. So that's why I'm here at the Dry Bar, you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, I know I was coming out to the Dry Bar, you guys. I wanted to look nice. I got my hair cut before I came, you know? Thank you. When it's time a barber, you know? He charged me extra, but it was fine, you know? It was okay. And before this, I was trying something. I was experimenting, you know? I was trying to let my hair get a little bit longer, you know? But then at work, you know, we're on Zoom and stuff like that, working from home. My coworkers started asking questions. They nosy, you know? They're like, oh, hey, Don, you know, you doing something different with your hair? And I got tired of them asking. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm trying to be more godly. I was like, I'm trying to be like one of the 12 disciples. And they were like, which one? And I was like, not Judas. Nope, depart from me, my son. I know you not. You will not tell me that. Not at all, you know? And I like to look nice. I like my hair cut. That's why I put on my good clothes tonight, y'all. I did. That's why I came to Dry Bar looking like a youth pastor. I did, because the jacket says Jesus, but the shoes say secular. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Gotta keep it fresh, right? You know? I played with that. You know, somebody was like, you know what, Don, you look like a youth pastor. I wanted to see how far I could get away with it, right? So I went to a job interview to be a youth pastor. Because I figured, how hard is a youth pastor's job? Like, every time I see a youth pastor in the church, they only do one thing. They wait for their cue. They're like, that's it. That's it. That's the job of a youth pastor. I can do that. How hard is it? I go to the church. I sit at the desk, right? The pastor's like, hey, Don, I see that you applied for the position of youth pastor. What can you do? And I was like, I got this. And then to sell the job, I threw the fist in and I was like, he said, you got the job. Ain't God good, y'all? That's right. I'm preaching my first sermon Sunday. That's what I'm doing. Preaching my first sermon. But it also gets me out of situations too. I was driving down here and that 80 miles per hour got me a little bit excited. And I was doing about 90. And the police officer pulled me over. I was wearing this, you guys. And like, when he pulled me over, you know, I was listening to like the best George Michael's track that I could find. But then when I saw the blue lights, I stood up, I turned on Joel Osteen. Like, I wanted him to know that I was a child of the king. Police officer comes to the window and he's like, hey man, you know, you're all dressed up. Where are you on your way to? And I was like, I'm on my way to an interview to be a youth pastor. And he looked at me and I was like, I got out of that ticket, y'all. Ain't God good? Yes, indeed, man. I just recently celebrated a birthday, you guys. Thank you. I just turned 21 for the 11th year in a row. Well, who's counting, right? You know, I did, but like, I noticed in my 30s, you guys, like, I do things way differently. Like, I got myself different birthday presents this year, you know? Like, in past times, I might have got myself like a trip or something like that. And this year, I got myself one of those 7-day pill boxes. And they had night and day on it, so I could like split up my medicine, you know? I got myself some knees from Wish.com. But they sent me some elbows instead, so I had to send them back. I'm like, those not gonna work, man, you know? I noticed in my 30s, you guys, I do things differently. I even date differently in my 30s, you know? If I wanted to take a lady on a nice expensive date in my 20s, I would have took her to like Ruth Chris, a nice steakhouse or something like that. In my 30s, my idea of an expensive date is a trip to Target. And if we end up at that Pizza Hut, we're no longer friends. I just proposed. I left the friend zone as soon as you ordered the puzz zone, girl. Like, you know. It's crazy, man. Even now, I do other things differently. I mind my business differently, y'all. I mind my business different, you know. The other day, I'm walking out of the store. I see this accident in the parking lot. Boom, 2 cars backing up. They hit each other. They both get out of the car. So I saw what happened. They're like, hey, when the police get here, you can tell them what you saw. I'm like, okay, that's cool. The police pull up to the scene. They're like, hey, sir, what did you see? And I was like... And the policeman said, you blind? I said, yeah. He said, well, how'd you get here? I said, I got a dog. He said, well, where your dog at? I said, on the way back to get me. Won't get me caught up in that. Won't get me caught up. Like I know my limits with things, you guys. I know my limits, like I watch TV differently now. Like I know I can't watch scary movies. It's not that I'm afraid, it's just that it's a waste of money. Because I'm not gonna open my eyes until the credits finish playing. It's not that I'm afraid, I'm just economical, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing, you know? That's the thing. And like, I even realized I watch other TV shows differently now, you guys. I do. You know, I watched this show called The First 48. Okay. Like, we know. I watched The First 48, but like, I watch it for different reasons, you guys. Like, I know I couldn't be a criminal watching that show. First of all, I got these hips. From my mama. And I don't know if y'all know, but hips and jail don't go together. Like, it's just not, that's not a thing you can do in jail, you know? And then two, what do they do when they make you want to tell, right? They take you into the interrogation room, and what do? They feed you. And do it look like I'm a last? I'm sitting at that table, man. Hey, Don, who was with you at that crime down in Ogden? I ain't telling you nothing. And they slide the food across the table. And I'm like, is that KFC? Extra crispy? Why didn't you lead off with that? I would have told you everything you want to know. Yeah, I was with him. I'm gonna tell him everything, man. Tell him everything. There is this one show, though, that I have been watching, you guys, only because it kind of makes me feel better about my current state of body. It's called My 600-Pound Life. Okay, good. I'm glad. I call us #fatties, the fans, because we be watching. Listen, I told you I'm older now, so things, you know, are a little bit different. Like, I started asking different questions when watching that TV show. Like, if you noticed, you know, sometimes the person will go into the hospital and they'll, like, stand on the scale and they'll look down and see the number, and then they start crying. And I just be like, the audacity. I start yelling at the TV. I get mad. I'm like, the show is called My 600-Pound Life. You knew you had to be somewhere close to that to get on TV. Like, I don't know why you're acting surprised. You signed a contract, Brenda. You understood it. It was outlined and highlighted. Why are you shocked? The audacity. Can't believe you sad. I'm mad now, you know? I'm mad. And then sometimes they'll have, like, you know, the person that's kind of, like, unfortunately too big to go to the hospital by ambulance. So, you know, they got to back up a U-Haul truck and get them out the door. And so... they always send a team of paramedics to go get them, right? If you ever notice, it's always one black paramedic that walk in and see how big they is, and they do this. And they be like, man, I knew I should have took PTO. Now for us, y'all, PTO stand for, I'ma probably take off. I might have the time, and I might not have the time, but I'm gonna probably take off anyway. The last thing that gets me about that show, you guys, is like, you know, they always interview the person's family and the friends and ask them how the person's weight has affected them. What if they interviewed the furniture? Like, y'all don't think that couch got a story to tell? Like, you don't wanna go talk to the couch? You go interview the couch sitting there with an attitude. You be like, what happened to you, couch? You be like, smoking a cigarette or something. That lady broke my arm last week. You should have saw what she did to the mattress. It was terrible, absolutely terrible. I still got gravy stains in my cushions. Like, I feel like that's what the couch would say, you guys. I do.